Vicens Vives launches a new project aimed at students to promote competency development through various learning situations in the form of NOOCs. But what is a NOOC? It is an online nano course where students have the opportunity to explore, learn and be evaluated on a key element of a competency, a skill or an area of knowledge. It can last between 5 and 8 sessions, depending on the proposal and the classroom needs. The NOOCs have been designed so that students go through the phases of inspiration, ideation and implementation following the structure of design thinking. Some proposals have a higher maker content, others are more digital, but all are focused on learning by doing, placing the student at the center of their own learning and making them creators of content and solutions. Each NOOC has a didactic guide with guidelines, worksheets, and complementary materials for the teacher to facilitate implementation in the classroom. It is also accompanied by a complementary notebook that helps to keep track of the knowledge. Here is an example. In the NOOC Un Quixote con Art, we propose to use a machine learning model, making use of artificial intelligence to recreate scenes and places where the adventures of Don Quixote take place, with the target of creating a digital book. When accessing the course, we discover the methodology to be used is design thinking. At the header, we find a video presentation where we are situated on the subject to be worked on and the challenge to overcome,
and discover how they would paint the scenes and places where Don Quixote's adventures take place.
Now we can adjust the first phase, the inspiration phase, where we will have to make decisions on the construction of a possible solution to the mission. A video shows us how to start and the first steps we will take.
You have the choice to determine if each group works on a specific chapter.
We also have an interactive presentation with the challenge of the course, resources, links and descriptions of the activities. A lot of importance is given to reflection and questions are continually asked to make learning reflective and to help them make decisions for the construction of their prototypes. With the decisions made, we now move on to the ideation phase. Creativity is important here, and this is where the practical part of the NOOC is introduced. An interactive presentation includes digital tools, tips and tricks for prototype development, as well as tutorials for the tools. NOOCs with mass maker content include the list of materials needed and a step-by-step video of the activity. These resources are only a guide and you can introduce all the modifications you think necessary. With the prototype developed, we enter the implementation phase, where a final video proposes ways to test the prototypes developed.
I propose that you create an open digital container.
In the interactive presentation, we will have to face the final challenge of the course, where we will be able to test our solutions and share them with the educational community. And to finish this phase, it is time for reflection. Students evaluate the process and reflect on the learning experienced. If we look at the course, there is a last block called Materials and Guides, where we can find complementary materials, worksheets, support tutorials and the teaching guide. And while we are on the subject of this guide, check its simple structure. At a glance, we can see everything that is happening in the Learning NOOC. It includes a selection of rubrics adapted to the content that facilitates the evaluation of the NOOC. And finally, we find a complete curricular linkage that facilitates its introduction in the classroom programming. Now you know the structure and content of our NOOCs. Learning and emotions always go hand in hand.